what a response from Gentlemates. They take us to map 3 in this best of 3.
This camera just to lose this map, guys, okay? That's what I'm saying. Let's go, Liquid. Execution. Oh, wait, hey, Mali, don't leave me hanging like this, bro. Look at me, bro. Good job, guys. We're in control of this game. Let's go. Good. But...
And that is my IGL. As I was saying, Gentlemates, they bring it to a map 3 in overtime. They're on Haven. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm joined once again by Kuka and Billy. Now, it very nearly could have been a 2-0 Team Liquid, but you have to take your hats off to Gentlemates. Billy, they played a very, very nice game there.
Yeah, but I got worried because I thought Team Liquid were going to start getting back into that one the way they were getting momentum. Yeah, it was a fake comeback, so it was absolutely fine. But yeah, I just think that Mini has been performing so well. He really is carrying the team on his back and leading from the front.
Yeah, and if you take a look at the bottom of this graphic, you will see the Team Liquid did win both of the pistols, so they did have good starts of the rounds. We can also see the success rate that Gentlemates were having in those post plants, because we were seeing it round after round, those attacking rounds and in those rifle rounds. They were definitely not only more comfortable, but actually superior in individually.
Yeah, I like the way that they kept their cool even during that fake comeback period going into OT. They seemed very, very calm. Yeah. It felt like on the Liquid side it was more rowdy, right? But I'm glad you mentioned Mini, because he's IGLing, he's fragging, he's anchoring, he's doing everything. Actually, perfect player right now on the server.
He's an absolute final boss. Like, even in the last round, I think that every single site that he was locking down was so difficult to access. Yes, the individual performance is definitely there. We're talking about how this is a new frontier for him. I want to know how he does also in the long run. He's going to have a very long day now that they've managed to close this one out. But it's very important that he was able to keep them in check.
I think that he's having this individual performance and IGLing, first time in VCT, let's not forget, against a side such as Team Liquid. He has to be so happy with how it's going so far. The fact that they can bring it to a third map, and the one he's the one bringing the vibes up too.
Look, he's even carrying all the cups.
He's bringing the drinks. He was born to be a leader.
He's bringing the drinks as
Go
well.
on, Kamek. How do you like it?
Oh, look at
him.
Honestly, that is my IGL. What can he not do? He is just, like I said, the perfect player on this server. But let's take a look at some of the things we saw specifically in-game as well. I think in the first half, there was something you wanted to point out.
Oh, yeah. I think that the learning to adapt from the teams is obviously very special. And in a map like Haven, this was a perfect showing of it, because we see this clash time and time again. And it was so nice to see, was it this one with the Tejo ult and everything the Team Liquid was able to do from the defense?
Yeah, it was really nice. And honestly, I was surprised that Kamek died to that ultimate, because Kamek is usually the one that would be running that. I thought that Gentlemates might have expected that play to come out from Team Liquid, but it caught them off guard.
I'm surprised as well it caught him off guard, but I'm glad you mentioned Kamek, because he's, let's be honest, being on the receiving end of a lot of the rowdiness from the side of Team Liquid, and I'm glad that he's keeping his cool, and this is going to mean a lot to him, Billy, if he's able to get his revenge.
Yeah, definitely, and he was putting up numbers. You know, he didn't have a bad performance on this map whatsoever, and it can commonly be, you know, a little bit anxious going up against your former team, especially when you've just made an international event with them. So I think that he had such a great performance on Haven.
To me, I also want to circle back to the fact that he's now on the breach. We saw it on the first map, and now he wants to stick with this. Maybe this means that the Tejo, he didn't like it, he didn't feel comfortable with it. He wants to be the best version of himself, the one that can make a team a winner. And if it's the breach that he's going to be using in this map, I wonder how that then translates onto Icebox.
No,
because of course, I mean, we saw the breach yesterday, so I was like, oh, do we want to see that?
I very rarely say this. In fact, probably the only time I've ever said this is about Hoodie, you know, the battle stage of our region, is Kamek can play Sage here. And not just play Sage, he can shine on Sage here.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other side, now that we were thinking about the breach, Paditic being on the other side, he could be playing the KO. Probably he's the best Asian in his pool. So very excited to see what the teams have been cooking up.
Kiko Reina, do we want to see that again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to question that. Any other player, I'd be like, no, well, maybe Shay does, but then everybody else, I'd be like, no, please, no, thank you.
What about a Click Reina? Because he has played on Icebox before, but we expect the Jet probably.
Yeah, we expect the Jet, but honestly, when I'm looking at Click, I just want him to be on whatever is most comfortable for him at this point, because I've not been impressed with the performance that we've seen from him so far. He's maybe having an off day. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but yeah, he's not really showing up in the server today.
And while we're in the theory craft part of this, we have to go back to the Nats and Serial.
Yeah.
What are they going to do in this map? We have seen, and it's not absolutely crazy to think of a double controller for Icebox, but I want to see if maybe you have an easy way out having the Viper and the Killjoy and find a little bit of comfort for both of them.
Yeah, and if it helps, Serial has played Killjoy here, has played Jet here, has played Gecko here, and the Reina. I just want to quickly shout out Mini on the other side, because he is the only player on this team that has never played Reina on Icebox. Everyone else has. Kamek has, Click has, Zipan has, Kata has, they all have at some point. So Mini,
he's still pure.
I salute
He's pure.
Mini for
That's
keeping
why he's
it normal.
IGL.
Yeah, he's keeping it normal. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, for Serial, maybe we see something a little bit more comfortable. I know he said he was comfortable on the new agents, but we haven't really seen him be able to actually perform to his usual abilities.
And I think like a lot of that is because it is a jump, right? Going from tier 2 to tier 1, and he was dominating in VCL Spain, and he had a pretty decent performance in his outing in challenges recently as well. So I think that playing in front of a live audience, you know, getting used to having the in-ears and everything, you know, like it's a new environment.
Having Patatek yelling in your ear.
Exactly. Like these are all things that he needs to get comfortable with. So if it takes him a couple of series to warm up to that stage, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen worse. We have definitely seen worse. He's playing, as we're saying, new agents under new circumstances and a new team. There's still a lot of things. But I would, and also the most important thing is the pressure of being on the losing side, of getting a map like Haven so close to getting that victory, to getting that comeback, and not being able to close it. That is also that you have to go through as a team.
And I like that this is a middle ground for both teams, right? It's a new map. They both obviously have something prepped for it. It's map 3 as well. It's where usually everything
goes out the window. That's also very good for Gentamates, because when we think about, the obviously they will only get a championship point if they are to win. But even getting that map differential up, even things out, you know, it's good for them.
Especially against a contender like Team Liquid, right? When we actually start to look at their group, this is probably one of the tougher matchups that they're going to have within this season.
It is definitely going to be one of the tougher ones. And let's take a look at the agent select. And it's Waylay versus Waylay.
Both of them. Okay, so we are going to be seeing the double controller for the side of Team Liquid. Kiko and Nat Serial just going on that Killjoy. Patatek on the Tejo and Camo on the Waylay against Click.
Wow.
Absolutely love that we're going to see this head-to-head. So the agent will remain on a 0% win radiating EMEA.
I mean, one of them has to win.
It's impossible now. It's impossible. We're going to get one Waylay win.
I guess. I think for me, I'm interested to see that Kamek is going to be on that KO, right? And we are going to see Zipan to continue with this Tejo. So yeah, that's really nice. And then Mini on Killjoy. We know what he can do on Killjoy. That seems to be a big comfort pick for him.
I'm so surprised the Patatek went for the Tejo. I want to see what it's behind it, because as I'm saying, I was expecting him, out of all people, to go on that KO, because it is his best agent.
And we've seen two very good Waylay players already. They both had their own individual things they brought, you know, their own lineups, their own flair. So I can't wait to see what Click and Camo, Mitch and Tom, can do on Icebox.
Well, it's always exciting to see how teams adapt to a new agent, and now both teams coming in with Waylay. This should be an interesting head-to-head. The old Icebox is no more, but Nat's still coming in on the Viper. Makes me feel good to see him on this agent.
Well, the fun thing is as well is now they have a second Sentinel player. They can still run the Killjoy, and it works wonderfully. So this might be... I think, obviously, we've seen Serial be sort of pushed into roles that he's never played a Teo. Controller's not something he was particularly strong on. Sentinel, though, that's what he's been playing the majority of the last few months. So I think that this is a good opportunity to see what he's truly got. And, of course, see if Waylay can finally put up like a stellar performance, because it's been very underwhelming so far in EMEA.
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like a curse for either team that picked her, but now both teams have picked her, so
someone has to win.
Someone's got to take the dub. Well, Team Liquid will start on the defensive side. That's not for you at home. I'm just saying that for me. Hopefully I'll remember. As we move into round number 1, and the pistols are pulled in full effect. It's 4 ghosts Gentlemates moving quickly towards this A site. They've already ran into the Nano, but that won't slow them down. Quickly filling in around the backside, and cancelled utility. The alarm bot is no real danger, but Team Liquid are taking their time before going for this engagement. Kamek stuck that despite going down to 1 HP.
Fair enough.
That kills! I don't know what strat that is, but I need to note it down.
The whole round so far from Zipan. We've definitely seen some of the individual brilliance that we know he's had in his locker this whole time. And I thought Kamek was going to get the final kill. Got to be careful. It is still Nats, but up top, Canna was remaining in the site. Gentlemates are going to win themselves a pistol. Though I'll say, Mitch, winning pistols in this series has meant losing the map so far.
About as much of a curse as picking Waylay, so we're really just trying to cancel each other out, I suppose, with this one.
If this goes 9-3, I think I'm going to have a breakdown.
It's just insane, no, that Kamek stuck that plan. After the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth shot, you know, eventually you think he goes, oh, they can see me, I should probably skedaddle, but his HP was gradually going down, and it looked like he went, they'll run out of ammo before they kill me at this rate. Fair enough.
See a little bit of frustration. Camo's face, and no surprises. It's quite common in these sort of rounds that you will stack up that A site. A lot of angles that can go unchecked and potential to fight for the orb, but it's not gone fantastically. A quick dash of the light speed into the site, and well, looking like this could end quite quickly. Nats is nowhere to be seen. More importantly, he has to almost go all the way back around just because of he's being out-ratted at the moment.
Yeah, well, it was even better. I think not long before that, he was here. So he was like literally in the spawn at that point. So it's an interesting position indeed. That has sent Nats in the other direction. I mean, he didn't even see that Kata was there, so maybe he'll get to keep that deep spawn control later on. For Nats, yeah, you're probably just going down to the spike, but you can manage to find a pick or two, thin out the herd. Kata's miles away, so he won't pick up any weapon that goes on the floor. Solid connection here. Definitely be worthwhile. Salvo's used. The turret draws his ire, and that gives Kamek the window he needs. 2-0 start for Gentlemates, and lots of weapons saved for the next.
Of course, it's very early in the season, but I think we can also just bring in factors of the group. I think many have sort of argued that Group A is very stacked in terms of the teams that have ended up within it, and I think for Liquid, obviously, a team that made it to Masters, looking at the group they're in, probably expecting to have maybe even a flawless victories, maybe them versus a Foot or something like that might be a little bit tougher, but the fact is a loss here to Gentlemates would be a huge starting point for the mates to work with. Of course, just getting into that top 4 is enough for playoffs, but obviously the higher up you are in the seeding, you can even skip stages, even get yourself, I think, 1 match away from making it. Every win, every round, every map is going to count.
Of course, for those Ascension teams, it carries a little bit more weight as well.
Yeah.
Nats' stun is good. He won't be able to swing out wide and stop that aggression from Gentlemates. That's at least 1 pick found for free, and Click from miles away is recovering, putting it down to a 4v3 with Camo's pick as mates look to take this in the other direction.
Kiko.
They've got to go right past Kiko. The jump peek works out for Kamek with the Spectre. I can't believe he's won that, and a 4v2. Liquid are going to be kicking themselves.
Has he found a way for the KO to actually be made out of metal? Like, because at the moment it seems like he's being sprayed and just is not dying. There's like a final stand on. Oh.
He thought he had to kill.
A little bit too quick on the trigger. Even still, though, he comes back to finish the job. Quick trade, and Haditech nowhere to be seen. In fact, he's going to get snuck up on by, well, I want to say his nemesis in this way. That's what it feels like.
I'm so perplexed that, you know, the 2 shots, it looked like it was on the head, and no doubt it felt like it to Camo, but him hitting that retreat a little bit early, refracting his way out, it's caused issues. And Team Liquid, they call a timeout here. Especially the fact that, you know, you lose opening pick to Zipan. It's unfortunate. He's hit a good shot. Click on the side was one thing, but that fight from Kamek is insane that he wins that. You know, if one of his teammates traded him, all right, fair enough. But him getting the kill, that's just nuts.
Got a weaker weapon and he was bouncing.
It was literally jumping in, hopping in like a kangaroo, and then on the A side, and no, that's the second time actually, just copping that. We had Kamek in the first round, and now Zipan. You can just plant on A, man. Even if they're shooting you, don't pull off the defuse. Just go for, or the plant. Just go for it. Commit. Pros don't fake.
Wow. Liquid already sensing the danger early in this one. I think as well, you look back to mates at kickoff, how they performed. When they had early starts, they ran away with it. It was very much either they dominated or got dominated. Like, I think back to the Heretic series, winning a really clean map, losing an even cleaner map. So I think making sure that momentum doesn't start to stick, because more importantly, I want to look back at this series so far. I don't think Click has had the most amazing of performances, but we know that when he is on form, he is terrifying. Now, Kamek's been very good. I'd say Zipan, Mini, we don't even need to talk about. So I think that they have that depth. If you add in Click, this series could be over in minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I think his absence has been felt as we've watched these rounds unfold. Now, Team Liquid, on the other hand, their absence on the scoreboard is not likely to be corrected here. Pistols and weaker weapons invested into a bookie for Camo. And in these rounds on Icebox, you really have to hope that they go running into you. And there's a chance, Spike's on the right side of the map, but mates are showing much more presence towards B. Previously, Nats was able to push up and take a ton of control in B main, but instead now there's two players holding around this area. They've got their turret from mid as well, so keeping that control, and that means keeping their options open for the late round. The players spotted on back A. It's not going to convince them to blitz B, but they've already made the call to switch in that direction.
Call the one player, so
be right back.
Very much still potential, but Click's going to be there to at least clear the majority of the space, and while for Nats, it needed to be a miracle play to get anything from there. Salvos will deny the more of default of plant spots, but inevitably it's quite comfortable getting anything from here. Tough.
Well, that Bucky gonna find it real hard to get up close and personal. Still that light speed online, the double dash the Camo can use to close the distance. Serial falling and the numbers thinning. It's not looking good. Kiko at least lands the one, but on 5 HP. Oh, salvos are going to be the end of him. He just stands inside of it. There was no other choice, really. A 4-0 start for Gentlemates. Icebox is looking like the map that they needed. This is a, well, you said we need to see them with a strong start. Doesn't get much stronger than this.
Yeah, oh god, they showed resilience in the last map anyway, but I'm also now just looking at the ultimates. Like, that's the thing, they've been building up orbs as they go, but more so on two very specific players, Click and Zipan, which if I was going to try and synergize two ultimates together, those are the two I am choosing. You can slow down your opponents and then nuke where they stand. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something of the sort going into this A site.
Well, we've already seen the ult online for Click. From POV, it was being set up for this A site take, and you can see how much, well, you will see when the ult is used, just how much space this can clear towards the A site. But Team Liquid are playing on the left side of site. They know that that ult's likely to come in and want to avoid it completely. Stealth drone rounding the corner, instantly destroyed. For mates, they know that at least one player is being spotted. They're happy to just pump the brakes and see if Liquid try to fill back in that space.
And that's the thing. We're talking about the convergence path, the Waylay ult. It's a big space in terms of that ultimate. So if they have the salvos to clear that right side, I think a couple of those players could still get caught. They're also going to throw out potentially that drone as well from Zipan. They've held their utility. They still have the knife. They can use an awful lot. But it seems like maybe just spotting a couple of players here or a piece of utility that have been used, they're going to start going back in the other direction. Could be the deep position of their Viper.
Yeah, the back yellow control already. You know it's a more passive hold, and with that Viper wall, you can get space towards the site. Zipan traded out on A. It doesn't draw rotation, so they're still here ready and waiting, but with Serial falling, it's Nats. The ult fired right in towards him, still gets two. Delays slightly, 10 seconds though, just enough for that plan to go down. The ult back in the other direction. Virgin Pat sent in, and Camo really taking the space as the refractive fall back and won't need it. The triple kill is enough to pull it across the line. The first round for Team Liquid on the board.
Yeah, I do wonder if that's just a little bit of a misstep. Obviously, a new agent, a new ultimate. I think they thought that went off much quicker than it actually did. Like, you see the swing, that's you expecting a player to be stunned. And, well, I think it was only the last bullet that Nat shot, which was a headshot, that he was even remotely stunned for. But you can see, already swinging, then he gets hit, still hits a dink. But that's, again, just a little bit more patience, and that could have gone a very different way. But well played from Liquid, and more specifically, well played from Nats.
Yeah, it's one thing for your opponents to make that mistake, but capitalizing on it is something else entirely. And Nats,
few players would in that fashion.
100%. Yeah, that was wonderful work, and just enough for Team Liquid to put their first on the board.
Yeah, protect Timmy. Protect Timmy.
There's no way that Gentlemates are going to find themselves on an eco, of course, not even if they lose this round, and that's not looking likely with an opening of Mini onto Kiko. Camo having to give up space, but Patatek finding the pick, at least stopping Click on the cross. Patty will stay up close, looking for this fight. Kata Snake Bite buys them a little bit of space, and the stun is good. The Armageddon now fired in will pull them into the open, but with the Viper wall up, there's no way to punish on that deep flash by Kamek. They should know that he could be through this wall. He definitely had to be close to be right-clicking the flash in, and they're checking it, aware of it, and Camo finds the kill as a result. Zipan, as the wall falls, looks for a duel back in the other direction, but the trades keep it in favor of Team Liquid. Rotate as well with Nats coming in. Viper's Pit not likely to be used, but maybe now. With Patatek falling and pressure on for Serial. He's had a tough few fights, but this round stepping up for the double and leaving Mini to do it all. But in clutches, he's been good. This time, Nats is there on top of the rope.
Surprised. I don't think he ever expected him to be right in his face. Another solid reaction. Again, a blip at the beginning of the round, but Patatek's response, reclaiming that ground, making sure that every fight, every aggressive position became more and more awkward. And that's the thing with a lot of what Nats is doing with his utility. He just stays alive so that that poison orb is constantly an issue. You just want to plant there. Well, okay, you're going to have to go down to 20 HP, 30 HP in order to really get past that one.
Well, this is going to be the early push on B. Omen and Waylay already inside that choke and pushing deeper through the smoke. This is a lot of information for that side.
They swap Nats as well.
And it's important, Nats needs to be there for the delay. The Viper's Pit even sent up. Perhaps the idea to, if you go for the flank, you have to break the turret. But if you send them back, well, those two players that are pushed up are going to be a big surprise for Gentlemates. This is a wonderful idea. And their reward has to be claimed, but it's looking good.
This angle makes me so nervous, though. And the fact is, there's one gap. That gap is towards middle. Like, if they push forward, there's the turret that will catch them, but there's space for them to get onto the B site without too many issues, and there you go. They have the info. Patatek will know that there's potential for them to have gone back. The spike is still outside of A, though. That could have been everything. If the timing worked out, it was a split second from them seeing Kamek and the spike being on the ground. Instead, though, Click is lost, but Zipan's position makes this one tough. If they can push forward and catch the players on the edge of the pit, they did not expect Serial to be waiting. And now, well, they have to deal with the man inside that pit. And they do!
Mini has done a remarkable job. That's pulled it back into the realms of possibility. Team Liquid floating back in before the spike goes down, but the players from Liquid do instead. It's Mini again, digging deep when he's needed the most, and he won't be needed in the late round. Kamek makes damn sure of that. Mini's hit another level in this series. I don't know what happened to this guy, but he is always reliable in these situations.
The thing is, I agree with everything you're saying, except hitting another level, because he was like this at kickoff.
Fair enough.
Like, that's the thing, this guy, since being in the league, has been so impressive. Like, what he did in this round is absurd.
insane.
Like, basically the whole plan was to
That's so
wrap
good,
around
guys.
and catch
That's so
Nats
good,
from
guys.
behind. When that fails, he goes, I'll do it myself, and just walks into the Lion's Den and comes out, well,
And doing
didn't
that,
even take a lick of damage.
doing that while leading as well. Just the consistency is. This from Kingo! A double opener!
Wow.
A headshot angle, and he got exactly what he needed.
Oh,
okay,
hello.
it's a good job the refract's online there.
There's so much chaos. I don't even get a moment to breathe without something ridiculous happening. Kiko is giving them hope in a round where there was none. 4 pistols still stand where there was 5 to begin with. And unfortunately, collecting the rifles is a no-go. Sending through the salvos to try and clear the player. While using utility, they do need someone to find a kill to get them back. At least level.
Oh, this fight for mates! Serial's done so well! Armageddon's put through! It's gonna slow this one way down, and for Team Liquid, this round is clearly feeling winnable. Patatek has snuck around the back of the boxes, and himself and Serial find another. Kata with the clutch on his hands, and he almost gets it! But Nats, with a pay safe card, Thrifty puts Liquid within punching distance. It's 3-5 now.
Seems like there's no moment in these rounds where the tide can just quickly turn. Sitting in a boat, you should be nervous, and to be honest, I'm sat in the studio and I'm nervous. These rounds have been so uncomfortable, and well, big Thrifty round where, again, it looked like there was, after the early start, opportunities for mates to really run away with it. That's something that Liquid are never going to allow.
Yeah, I think for mates, this round boils down to it being a bit too telegraphed. Team Liquid had 4 players alive and 4 players on the A side. Everyone was there ready for that fight, and the initial utility that went out, Serial, who has had a bit of a struggle in some of these games, well, he stepped up for, I think, 2 very important kills in this one, or at least he was assisting the second. For Team Liquid, getting away with a round like that has certainly caused a couple of alarm bells to ring on the other side. We've had a timeout from Gentlemates, 5-3 in the lead, but not happy with how things are going in the last couple.
Look at the ults. That's the big thing. Although they might have a piece or 2 missing for this round, every single ultimate is either online or 1 away. So they can throw everything at this round just to try and make sure they get through it, keep their economy strong. That's the most important thing. Well, for the opponents, they're still on the edge a little bit. They've had to invest the majority. They only got 1 player out of that last round, and when you come up against the full stack, it can be tough.
You should run.
Well, the lockdown in play, there is a lockdown for Serial as well.
But this also guarantees them an orb for the next ult. If they want to pick it up and just basically go, okay, we traded an ult, we have another ult and the site.
Especially if Kamek's the one finding that. Viper's pick goes into play. Big danger again. Serial can just use that lockdown to cause issues, and that's exactly what's going to go into play. And sure, Kamek pops ult before, but it's not going to do a whole lot in terms of stopping the lockdown. They still need to respect it. They've managed to destroy it, though, and actually, Armageddon almost avoided staying inside the pit now. A lot of presence all over the site being heard by Kata, but they can't find him. They don't know where he's gone, and from the top rope, he'll find one. Now they know, but it could be too little, too late. A big round from Kadabra, and a big round for Gentlemates.
This was the thing. Like, they came into it with 5 ultimates. I believe they leave with 0, but it's worth it. When your economy is that screwed and your opponents are on the brink of being reset in exactly the same way, you put everything into it because the payoff is potentially a multitude of rounds just in trade for this one. And that's the thing, they had everything sort of set out. You had that lockdown available to get the site, Viper's Pit to take it, then you had the Armageddon to counter the lockdown on the other side. They knew that no matter what card was thrown their way, they had the trap card to reverse it.
Yeah, they had that counter, and clearly had the mana for it too. Team Liquid trying to adapt. to this weaker buy with aggression. The bookie from Patatek is good for the first. He's going deep for more and almost gets it, but mowed down on that B-hold. It's left to mid to try to make it work, and that peek from Camo, the dash in and out, and the swing from Natsus, it's caught them way off guard.
That looks so stupid to see, but hey, that couldn't have got any better. Takes 0 damage. Teammate gets a kill, and there might even be a gun for him to pick back up, although Zipan seems to have the idea of hunting down. They have passed like ships in the
mid,
night.
yeah.
He has absolutely no idea, and that is a huge problem for Kamek. He's actually rounded the corner, so he stays alive, but they know where he is. There's also a flank on a flank with Kada coming in from behind, but now that player is cleared, they have to look the other way. They have to work out where he is, and well, Kada tagged low, but he's going to be able to put the snake bite in. That buys even more time, and in the end, they do get the job done. It was squeaky bum time for mates, but it's a round.
Yeah, you know, I look at it, I suppose, from a conventional shooter perspective. You've got one player back yellow. One goes for the lurk around mid, the other one goes for the lurk around through the spawn and kitchen. It's a big... It really does look insane. But it's a big risk to take, but then you consider what they have. Kata's very low on HP.
Look at me, bro.
Kata's very low on HP, goes up above, has a snake bite, fires that in, and you had salvos just coming online for Zipan as well. So even though he's out of position, he's not out of the round. He's still involved. Good timing, good read, and it's very difficult to counter that on the other side through the nano that was sent in to destroy some util and, well, maybe cause some problems. Serial does well here, landing himself the first. The spike down on the floor, and so is Kata. Numbers thinning out for mates. Liquid trailing by 4, but they're starting to pick up the pace now towards the end of the half. 7-5 still possible. Great crossfire in the spawn as well. If Mini pushes that door, he was dead. To Kiko alongside Patatek. Kiko goes hunting out on the site and finding free kills. This is looking much better for Team Liquid.
It's a round that they really cannot afford to let slip. Click. No idea there's a player directly below him. The mob, as you can see. Mini's had his moments. Spike in hand, he's been spotted. The run back. He's going to have an idea that there's players around this position, but he is not aware of how close Camo was. Good response from Liquid. It has been a rough half for them so far, but after the 4-0 streak, it has been much more of a back and forth. We would say, though, an 8-4 feels incredibly different to a 7-5.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that 8 very much possible for the side of Gentlemates. Team Liquid don't come in with any ultis of their own.
There.
So far, mates seem to have the answers once these problems pop up. It looks to be a very fast play towards middle. Perhaps. Orb there, and only the Waylay being doubled up in that position sort of made me think there'll be a dash for top 2, but instead it's going to be Waylay embedding and maybe looking for the late flank. It's a new look. We'll see if it finds success.
Last time out, Nats was isolated when he was in this position. It's understandable that he is just going to give up that spot. Not worth fighting for. Just look how much utility sent in. Nice start, but the trades come back thick and fast. Kiko, it should be freebie. It will be.
Yeah, Click going a little bit too loud on the way through. Misreading the rotations. It's given a real chance. The side of Liquid. Kiko and Camo, the 2 on their way back through. Full utility belts. Paranoia still up. Smoke for the spike already. That's putting pressure on. 6 seconds till salvos, but Zipan has to fight. And that's the utility now removed. One piece at least. Kamek bought himself a bit more time, and Paranoia was used back yellow. They don't know where he is, but being forced to spam, thinking they're on the spike, but now it's a 1v1. More doable, but Camo got ahead of the problem. Time running low.
No,
it will be close.
I don't think so.
Very close, but not close enough. 8-4 indeed.
Red Bull clutch to close out the half, and a big one for Kamek. That could be the difference maker when we head into the next. And honestly, right now, it does seem like Gentlemates are in that driver's seat. We'll see if the tide will turn once again.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Welcome back, 8-4, mates. At one point, it was looking like they were on the ropes in this series, certainly when we opened up with a 13-6 in favor of Liquid, but now they're leading the charge. The OT comeback indeed. And now 8-4 in the lead. A great first half under their belt. For Team Liquid, it's time to show up here on the attacking side. A pistol loss will make that gap look a whole lot bigger.
That's the thing. It's been funny looking across both sides of the stage. Paditek almost seems to have been abusing Kamek. And Kamek, chill as ever. I think even it looked like in that moment he was telling them, all right, we take it easy, we take it calm. Clearly not crumbling under any of that pressure of facing up against his old squad with his new mates. The question is, can they start this off with a pistol? Getting themselves ever further clear. Already said it. The pistols have been cursed so far this series, but they won the first and 3 rounds followed. They do the same again. They're at match point.
Swing by Camo, Mini shutting it down. That's the only pick for Gentlemate so far. He's tagged desperately low. Down to 4 HP, forced to fall back, and the site now claimed for a plant. Push in, not gonna work out for Kiko though, and so numbers back to square footing, but it's Mini being so low that makes this a difference.
A little bit overzealous though, wanting to try and get that close ground, but instead giving an opportunity. Click now finds another. A few slip-ups, a few missed shots, giving those opportunities over, and that's not connecting either. It is going to be the salvos, but Kamek continues to push. Again, an advantage, a post plant, and a pistol that looked done. But Gentlemates, they're never giving up that fight.
Well, the second that Mini gets tagged to 4, that this shuts down the ability of mates to contest the plant or even the post plant. These players are able to have a moment to breathe, to step back, but instead, Kiko goes hunting, knowing the player that dropped down was low, but not expecting that they'd swapped positions and that someone else had filled in that gap, ready for a fight. I don't blame him. That's a huge round for Gentlemates, and you can see the frustration in Liquid's coaching staff. This pistol could mean so much more than just a 1-round buffer.
It's starting to look like more than just mates.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Maybe that's what a gentle mate is.
I'm not sure about that one, Tom. We'll have to bring that up in the post-game interview. 9-4.
I won't ask that question, someone else.
And it's a big buy from Team Liquid. They've invested fully into the Stingers. They want to stop this madness before it gets way out of hand, and we might already be there. A loss in this round, it could signal the beginning of the end! And Gentlemates, that looked like it. They were facing an eco, Tom. They have rolled Team Liquid on this buy.
It's an in-zone flawless, which it's not going to put them in much better a spot than that. Bear in mind as well, they bought up full rifles.
Yeah,
they knew that was coming. They were confident that their opponents were going to invest into this round. So everybody purchased, taking 0 risks, having, look, when the map comes up at the end, they're all on this site fighting together. They had the right read, the right weaponry.
We're in the control of this game, okay?
And as he said, in control of the game. Mini with his debut as an IGL. And honestly, wouldn't be able to tell.
Well, from not having hands to having their opponents in a chokehold, quite an impressive turnaround from Gentlemates. Camo's got to be fuming to be picked off like that.
The desk.
Yeah. And Team Liquid, a player down already. Nats has been spotted having pushed all the way up in middle. And Mini is just closing in the gap behind. The space left open, capitalized again. It's Mini, a three-piece on a low buy for Liquid, of course. The consequences of their actions. That's not going anywhere other than up in rounds for Gentlemates, 11-4. This was looking done and dusted. Team Liquid seemed to have it set up. They just had to tap it in, but Gentlemates, well, they still had some bite to their bark. This push from Mini, beautiful.
Loving as well, seeing this, the Mamba in the crowd.
Yeah.
Cheering on the squad, and while it is going swimmingly, there needs to be a backbreaker. There needs to be someone on this Liquid squad to step up and do something, because right now they have gone silent at the worst possible time. In the last map, they fought back to OT. And well, finally, they've managed to punish. Look at where Click was, by the way. You can see where he died on the map. That was such an aggressive early push, but you can see what this squad, what they have got to. I said earlier in the map, when they get rolling, they don't stop. And that's what they continue to do. They push the boundaries more and more and more, and it takes someone shutting them down to maybe finally change the tide.
I think it's as simple as if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And last round, he pushed up, got a kill for free. He's going to say, okay, are you going to give me that gap again? The answer this time was no. They're pushing in off the back of another kill, traded out this time, but still leaving Team Liquid with the advantage. Kamek hasn't been spotted! And he's good for only one, a better weapon there, and that could be a disaster. But instead, Team Liquid given a moment to breathe, a 1v3, and Mini caught with his knife out. That's about the only way to stop him from winning a clutch.
He's very good at hitting headshots, but not so much with the knife. Liquid finally put a stop to the streak, but there's definitely a lot still to go. Solid fly.
Okay, well, now it makes a bit more sense why the kill came in.
Weird, there's no assist.
Assist, yeah, on the other side. I wonder what happened. But he was blind.
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah. Well,
we'll have to, after the
maybe
game.
the analysts can figure that one out. Telestrator from Mini.
Yeah. Or maybe we bring in the Hog to break that one down.
We'll need it. We'll need it. That might be, that's a Hog strat, actually. So we'll have to consult the experts after the game. Get the mightiest of Joes involved. 11-5, 6-round gap. And Team Liquid, with the rifles out, with confidence, and perhaps wind in their sails after the last round. But I'll say, when we swapped to cams, it didn't look like Nats was all too happy. And understandably, when they're behind by this much, and mates have felt like they've got full control. The ult online and very much ready to be activated by Click.
He's ready to throw hands.
Exactly. And the lockdown in play for Mini is a big reason why they don't need to have this backside presence. They don't need to, but Kamek started to step a little deep. Looks like he'll tuck in, though.
Should be something that we're well aware of. Looks like a retake setup. Camo looking to clear now. There you go. Maybe a little bit of an overface from Kamek. The rest of the team, it does seem almost telegraphed that they're playing this one for a retake, but he's ahead of the curve, looking for those fights. Mentioned the potential overconfidence, and these sort of rounds begin to look quite easy. The fact is, though, we have seen many a round turn on its head. It's not pretty from Kiko, but the job is done nonetheless. And, well, getting back onto this is going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overheat. Mini goes through the wall, through the smoke, expecting they've already fallen back, but it was very much not the case. Stun, that's actually decent. That's just too far back to be caught by it, though, and with utility still on the spike and time ticking away, Salvo's still online for Patatek, just now being fired out. This is cementing the round for Team Liquid, and with Kata picked off, it's a little more costly. Zipan gets out, they'll save that weapon for the next, but Team Liquid continue to climb back slowly, but surely getting back into the game.
Still a mountain to climb, but I think especially for teams with maybe less experienced players. Okay, you've got the likes of Zipan, who's been around the block a bit, but You're talking about a lot of players who have recently come up from the tier 2. Obviously, that pressure can start to build, because as mentioned, a win here, definitely some other games that you'd expect for Gentlemates would be easier than the team that just went to Masters. That'd be a huge first point at the board. Got to get it over the line. Got to not get ahead of themselves.
This comeback is not real until I hear Patatek screaming again. That, for me, is the sign this is going well. Huge potential, and it's Mini to pick up the double.
Like was an observer.
A shutdown that leaves Team Liquid grasping at straws. No map control, nothing to fall back on it. At least having Patatek still alive for that initiation, that drone through, but Armageddon now with the orb, but I think he was going to get an orb either way. Come hell or high water, mates. 5. Like, look at the stack on back A side. All 5 players here. If this was an eco round, it would make sense, but they're doing it with rifles, and that's going to be frustrating for Liquid, attempting to come back into that one. 6 rounds now in a row needed.
But this is what I've loved about Gentlemates on the defense, is they call a strat, call an idea, pop flash in. Mini was basically just watching in case they tried to push through. They had the aggression from Click. Okay, the aggression was a little bit messy from him, but it gave the information that was enough for Mini to then get aggressive again. Okay? They have these ideas, they have these plans, they move as a unit, and I feel like Liquid have really, really struggled with that throughout this match so far. And the most important thing for me is you come into this matchup and go, okay, Click had a quieter map, maybe Mini will quieten down or something like that. No, we've got every single member of the mates performing, and unfortunately, Serial's finally having like a better game than what we've seen so far, but it's other players that have gone missing. Patatek not having that same success when moving over to the Teo, normally on that more supportive role, and obviously Kiko's someone who, as I said, when you go back to kickoff, maybe the best player in the entire event. Well, Icebox normally is home ground. Think back to some of the crazy games he had when on Jet. Well, unfortunately on the Omen, it's not gone as well today.
No, it really hasn't. 6 in a row needed for Liquid to have any shot at this. Then they'll have to fight in overtime. Mates, they've been looking clean. Mini's popping off. Zipan 17 and 9 at the moment. You have to think that that round is coming, that win, if not now, soon. For Liquid, an airtight strategy needed. They've had their timeout and what could be their last chance to put a round on the board.
They've also got to be wary. That's the thing. This becomes less about, okay, what's our plan? What are we doing? And more about what are mates going to do? Like, what are they going to push? What ground are they going to take? How are they going to make this difficult for us? And this is the thing. We saw this setup before, where it's an early, aggressive start to the round. It's already a kill, and another comes up for Click. A beautiful setup. They were ready for a player not to be allowed to move away from that convergence path, and now the attackers, they've got to react. They've got to try and take space elsewhere. They're trying to head to A.
The deep salvo combo is just so dangerous, and we get to see it in full effect in that round. Containment is the name of the game for Gentlemates. Turret still watching their back, and the rest of the squad looking firmly forward. Now that ult, it will stop some utility, and that lets them just run straight through on the mate side, dominating the duels as we've seen so often in this series. It's 13-6. Matching the performance Team Liquid dished out defeat on map 1, but even being so close to success on Haven, they couldn't put it across the line, stalling out in the end and leaving mates to find success. It's good to see Cadaver win.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, a curse broken in one essence, but maybe history even repeating itself. We saw a mini dynasty back in 2023. Well, Mini's taken over the IGL of this team, and it's looking pretty damn good. I'm especially impressed with some of those defensive set plays. We see it in the last round. When they have an ult, when they have something to play with, there is a clear plan. And as I said, sometimes when it's a bit more loose, they look a bit more rough. I think that happened a few times on Haven, but it's been a short amount of time. This guy's only just taken over the leadership of the team. There's going to be some teething issues. They've only just brought in Kamek, and while a huge result to kick things off, the team maybe even expected to top the table after what they did in kickoff, already sit down that bottom, and it's because of the Gentlemates on stage.
Considering the Team Liquid dominate their map pick, but here on the decider, for Mates to make it look this dominant, this deep into the series, this late into the night. They deserve that round of applause. The mum buff in the crowd perhaps played a role.
Yeah, you have to come every week now.
There is no doubt about it. Mini was playing an unbelievable game, calling one too, but in those moments where he needed to step up, where the walls were closing in, well, he just broke them down brick by brick. An incredible performance from the side of Gentlemates. Now it's time to send it over to the post plant. Yinsu will be waiting with Billy, and I believe Mini and Kamek will join them in a moment.
We will be joined by some Gentlemates in just a moment, and it's Mini, as in Gentlemates Mini, not as in our Mini.
Not our Mini.
There's two Minis, but we need to get Mini and Mini together one of these days. But before that, what a series that was. We wanted to see the Icebox. We got 2 Waylays, and Billy, finally there's a Waylay win, you know? We couldn't avoid that.
It feels so nice to round out the day with that Waylay head-to-head as well. You know, I wasn't sure if it was going to go to a third map, but I'm glad it was as competitive as what it was.
I am glad as well, because we needed to see a Waylay win, and more importantly, I think the Gentlemates were really shakes things up, right? Because Liquid on paper, they were supposed to take the point today.
Of course, especially when we look at the group, right? We had kind of said this coming into the last map, that Team Liquid, we would expect to be finishing kind of top of this group, especially after the kickoff performance. So I think that this is a real upset, but a real good sort of future for Gentlemates to kind of build a momentum off of.
Now, before we bring Mini and Kamek here to join us, let's take a look at the Pay Safe card Play of the Week. And it is the Kicks ace all the way back, Billy, to day one.
Yeah, I mean, no surprises by this. I think Kicks has been absolutely phenomenal. And if anyone has not seen the Vitality voice comms videos, they should absolutely go and watch them just so that they can see how much value he actually brings to this team and why he is such a strong player. So, yeah, shout out to Kicks. This Play of the Week was very much well-deserved.
This was absolutely insane as well from him, and the fact that he was able to do it under quite a lot of pressure, on his own, 32 HP, gets the ace, and make Vitality just look so good right now. They're definitely one of the ones to beat, you know, in their group. Oh, I'm so sorry, Pips, and we have to show the have to show the reaction. But we will see Vitality back in action next week as well. But for now, let's talk a little bit about Team Liquid, because they also went to Masters. They've come back and they haven't been able to pick up a win in week 1. Are you worried at all?
I am a little bit concerned, yeah. I think that we do need to kind of give them time because, of course, they're bringing Serial into the roster, and I don't think that bad performance was down to Serial whatsoever. It's going to take time for him to kind of gel with the rest of the team members, and I think as well Team Liquid just got really unlucky against a really strong Gentlemates today. Mini's debut on IGL.
Yeah. They didn't want to lose. They didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
But also, this is very Team Liquid, you know?
Yeah.
They can't just do things normally. They can't just, like, dominantly win the entire season. They got to warm up, you know? They're probably going to lose the next one, and then we won't see them lose a single game until the end of playoffs, just like kickoff. So I'm not super worried, but I would like to see how they adapt to everything. Because, you know, a couple of maps where they didn't change any comms, they just haven't had time.
Yeah.
So maybe now they're back here, they have some stage experience, they can finally get some time.
Yeah, I think so. And I think as well, like I say, bringing Serial into team, maybe some new ideas and new things that they can run, and they can have that time to build those things out. I do think that given the fact that they were just at Masters, they haven't had the time to prepare and kind of merge them into the team perhaps in the way that they would have liked. And yeah, I don't think that you can look too deeply into that first loss for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and of course we had classic Cats, you know, Kiko and Nats were doing
they're
Kiko
still
and Nats
looking
things.
great.
They were frying, but they weren't frying, unfortunately, as hard as the players from Gentlemates, and I am now joined by Mini, the IGL, and Kamek. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you guys. Come and take a seat. First of all, a massive congratulations. Kamek, that's gotta feel nice, right?
That feels nice.
Yeah, it feels nice? Yeah? You guys have such big smiles when it happened. And how much of this Mini was for Kamek?
I mean, like, for sure, like, everyone before this game, like, we said do it for Kamek, you know, but also, like, we want to win for Gentlemates, for ourselves also.
Yeah, of course, of course.
My boy Kamek, he played, like, action in it, you know, we try hard a little bit more, but...
Yeah, the motivation, extra motivation. Now, Cameron, while I have you here, we've heard a lot from Team Liquid, from the coaching staff, from Eamon, about what happened, and I just wanted to give you an opportunity, if you don't mind sharing from your perspective, what ended up happening on Liquid.
I mean, it's hard for me to say because like I don't agree with the stuff. I don't agree with the stuff they did and the decision they made. But it's up to them. I don't have like any control over that. It's unfortunate, but now I'm joining the better team.
Oh.
I'm having much more fun. It's like everyone treats me so nicely, you know. It's like night and day difference, you know.
Oh, okay, nice. And Minnie, I wanted to ask you about, you know, taking on that IGL role. How has that been for you? And did you find it difficult coming up against an IGL such as Nats and having to call against him?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm really happy that I actually end up like on the IGL role because I always like to IGL, and when like I heard, you know, there's like chance I can beat IGL, I was like more challenge for me, you know. Like I was excited, you know, to like more stuff coming, you know, more working with the coaches, and I like to get better every day. It was just opportunity to make it even like harder for me to get better, so it was amazing. And yeah, it was a pleasure to play against Nuts, you know. And like every match in VCT for me is like pleasure to play against those players, but no fear, you know. Like I was watching them for really long in tier 2. Now I'm here, now I'm better than them, so I need to
Just
keep showing.
vibing.
It looks
Just
natural for you,
vibing.
yeah.
Now, Minnie, I know, you know, Boaster was here before, and he said, you know, this is a very big challenge for Minnie because you have a lot to worry about. People don't really understand how difficult it is to just become an IGL, take up all the responsibility, and win and frag and do all this. But I don't think you struggled at all. In fact, I wanted to ask you, did you feel like you have to do everything? Can you let someone else get a kill, you know? Let someone else have a clutch? Let someone else have a highlight reel? Because we have a lot of highlights from you. Because all 3 maps, it was just like, you were in there calling, killing, doing everything under the sun. Did you feel like you have to do this?
I mean, but like to be honest, I didn't even feel like after this match, like against the match against Koi, I felt like really, you know, like I was like playing so good. But this match, I just feel like I did a good job. But all my teammates like did great, you know, like everyone stepping up in the mid rounds, like after split, we really felt like there was like not many like mid round calls, you know, and stuff. So like we said it, you know, that everyone needs to start calling more and stuff, and everyone step up their game. So I think we all did like our S-tier game, you know.
And Kamek, what's Minnie like as an IGL? You know, how does he compare to the others you've played with?
I mean, like he has the same pulse as me. Like we share the same mind, like almost. You know, it's like because I do a lot of calls as well because I finally can do it, and like I'm really happy that I can do it. And yeah, I mean we are on the same point, and we are like sharing the same vision. So it's very nice.
That sounds very, very nice. Although, the roles though, we really like your Tejo. We love your Tejo.
I'm still playing Tejo on
is
some
it?
maps, but I cannot leak.
Okay. I think Billy was super disappointed when we didn't see it.
I was going to ask you about this because, like, Kamek, we've seen such flexibility from you during kickoff, right? So is there any sort of surprises that we can expect, any agents that we didn't see you play?
Super quick because Minnie, can we get the Minnie stats again? Sorry, I just want to make sure Minnie sees the stats. Because, like, that's my IGL, you know what I'm saying? That's your IGL, Kamek. You got to feel good when your IGL's doing stuff like this. Yeah. Any tips you want to share, Minnie? Any like routine? You know, what's your crosshair?
Just keep grinding, guys. You know, like play dot crosshair and keep grinding. You know.
I got it. I've written it down. Yeah, sorry, Billy. Carry on.
Yeah, no, sorry. So, Kamek, is there any roles that we've not seen you play in kickoff that you can reveal? Of course.
Duelist.
Duelist.
I mean, but I'm not gonna play it. I think not yet, at least.
Okay, interesting.
You have played Reyna on Icebox before.
Yes.
Going into this Icebox, I was thinking, oh god, do they do it? Do they?
I mean, I said if we win this map, I'm gonna go Reyna next Icebox.
Minnie, I have a lot of respect for you because I don't know if you know this, but all of your teammates have at one point in their careers played Reyna on Icebox, and you haven't. So well done for not giving in to the temptation. Would we ever see you on something like that?
I mean, maybe like if I go crazy one day, you know, I will play Euro every map and just send
I'm down for that.
We wanted to see that so bad.
I'm so down for that.
We genuinely wanted to see that so badly. Is there any? I mean, I guess the Abyss is gone now, but is there any kind of setups we have? Maybe you do.
Maybe one day we'll have, you know, but like I like Euro a lot. So if the meta is gonna help us to put me on Euro, I will happily take the opportunity, you know, to play Euro again. So
whose decision is it normally on your team with things like this?
I mean, I think everyone,
Besides.
like, I mean, me,
Everyone,
Alex,
I think, yeah.
everyone, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like a coach tell you what to do and then you do it. It's a collaboration.
I mean, for sure, sometimes, like, me and Alex just say, like, let's play this comp, like, we think it's better, so we play this comp. But we also, like, check with everyone, you know, how confident they are and stuff like this, so...
And Kamek, is there anything that you learned from Bangkok, from the global events, playing against other teams, seeing what the other regions are doing that you feel like you've brought into this gentleman's
I mean,
roster?
not only from like Bangkok, but like overall from Team Liquid. Like I'm helping like with the motivational stuff. I'm bringing up the energy, bringing up the stuff. You know, it's like I'm trying to keep calm, like calming my teammates and stuff. You know, it's like there's a lot of stuff I learn in Liquid that is helping me right there.
Like a teammate, being a good teammate. In which case, I need all of you to start hyping up Mini a bit more.
Yes, I was going to say this because when we were listening into the voice comms, a lot of the time, all we would hear was Mini shouting, "I'm so good, I'm so good," and I was like, "Why?"
We were also shouting that. Don't
we
worry.
were like, "Why is no one else hyping him up?"
Well, when you got that 4K on the pistol, I was like, why is no one standing up for Mini? You know, like, if you can take this back, Hammer, you know, let the other boys know. We need them to start hyping you up. We need them to start hyping you up. Speaking of the hype, now you've won a game, which I wasn't sure if you really, in the back of your mind, expected that this was in your favor coming into this. What does this mean for the rest of your split? Because, you know, there is a real chance that you could top your group, you could go to playoffs, and you could maybe even make a master. So how is all of that feeling for you right now?
I mean, it feels good winning first game, but it's like step by step, you know. Every game there's new week, and right now we can win every single match or lose every single match, you know. So every single week, like there's new match coming, and we just need to win another match, another match, another match, and just keep going, you know, to get ourselves into Toronto. So
I completely agree with him. Like I wanted to say, like it's step by step. We don't like watch too much ahead. It's like two sides. It's like small picture is winning match by match, and big picture getting to Toronto. But like it's still very far from there. So let's just get match by match, and we will get there eventually.
Hey, you made one already. Yeah, he's made one already.
Do you guys feel as well the sort of pressure, because of course flying the Gentlemates banner is an Ascension team that had to come up. Do you feel that pressure to be able to make these international events this year?
No.
we don't feel pressure.
What about the looming kind of like, the relegation and everything happening later on in the year?
To be honest, like
I don't really think about this.
Good.
Like I don't even know how it works properly, you know. Like I'm just chilling, you know. Like
okay, I can tell you now. If you make champs, you're Gucci.
Yeah.
Just make champs.
Yeah.
I know plus minus, you know, but like I was saying, like even to our like performance coach, I was saying that like I really want to keep Gentlemates in VCT. Like the care that they're taking of us, you know, the management and like everyone, they're doing such a good job. Like the fans also, you know. So like I just want to keep them in VCT. And we just do it somehow, you know. I don't know what are the rules,
must love you. They must love you.
I can actually agree with us. Like I'm so surprised how good this organization is as a team and as a family, to be fair.
What do you think about the fans? Because the fans they love you guys. They're so passionate.
Yeah, they are so crazy, and I like it. I mean, I've been in French team before, and it's like the same, same situation. It's like, I like this, you know.
How's your French?
Bonjour.
Oh, okay. Kada needs to teach you guys a bit more, I feel like. Because I remember Click and Robbie were saying they also spoke no French, you know. Kada's slacking. We need to get you some lessons. You mentioned earlier, Mini, that it felt good, you know, because you've been watching these players for so long in Tier 2. Now you get to be here, you get to beat them, you get to test, you know, just prove how good you are. I wanted to ask you, because we do have the 5-year anniversary of Valorant coming up very, very soon. I wanted to ask the both of you, what's been your, I guess, 2 questions. First, what's been your favorite memory so far in Valorant? And what's been your favorite memory that doesn't involve you know, just the wider Valorant competition-wise? We'll start with the first one. Your own favorite memory.
My own favorite memory, I think, and probably like qualifying into VCL like 3 years ago when we made it like with Enterprise Esports from VRC. We played against Finest, BO5 on last map, like 13-11, like such an intense match, you know. And like I remember, like I was playing with like my Czech brothers, you know. So it was like it felt so good, like winning and managing to get to VCL. I think that's the best moment. But like being here every single day is my best moment, you know. So.
No, I love that. Kamek?
For me, when I was in Movistar Riders with like, you would say complete no names, and we got into like a final Spanish tournament, and we literally like tier 2, tier 1 teams, like really good teams. We completely dominated, and we got into final, and we won, and we lost against Ascent, who won the Champions later.
Oh yeah. Okay, what about just in general competition? You know, like maybe something else that's happened in Valorant that you feel like you were watching before you were in Tier 1. You're like, oh damn, that makes me want to be there.
International tournaments.
Yeah. Maybe what would any specific moment?
There has to be one that stands out.
Gambit one when they won Berlin, I think.
Yes,
so real.
That's my boy. Any excuse? That was also mine. Yeah. What about you, Mini?
I think Fnatic comeback, you know, like
the 3-11.
the 3-11. I think that one was nice, you know. Like I mean, I think like since that day, you know, I believe in comebacks even more.
Oh.
Like that, I mean, it was like very nice to see them, you know, come back. I was like watching it live, so I think that's one of the best ones.
Did you believe?
I mean,
Did you believe when it was 3-11?
I remember, I think I would not say I believed, you know, but
Oh, I
there's
didn't
always chance.
believe. I didn't even believe when it was 11-11. After the Alpha 1v2, I was like, nah, they're going to choke this somehow. Yeah. Okay, this is very, very nice memories. Honestly, you guys might be some of the people's favorite players now. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people are very hyped about your performance today. So maybe when we sit here again in 5 years' time, we'll be talking about this.
Maybe.
Remember that time the Gentlemen beat Team Liquid, my favorite moment. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you back here next week. Thank you very much, Billy, as well. Actually, before we throw this all off, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Let's take a look at the standings, because the standings is really interesting now. The points are all over the shop, as you guys know. For every match you win, you will gain 1 point. Of course, Vitality, they won kickoff, so they're really, really far ahead. Yeah, I'm just going to throw a couple more questions to you guys. Kakuka had an amazing question yesterday, which was, looking at the two groups, what is your prediction for the top 3 from each group? I want to see where your heads are at.
Let me start, I think Group Alpha.
The Scrimbucks. This is the Scrimbucks top 3.
No, I mean, I would say...
Oh, actually, give me a top 3 according to Scrimbucks in Group Alpha.
No,
Go on.
I think it's hard. I don't follow it that much, you know, and like scrims are scrims, you know, so I'm not sure about the scrims, but like overall, I think Alpha is like Vitality, Heretics, and I think Fnatic could make it. I mean, they won against Navi today. Otherwise, I would say Navi, but actually they won today, so I believe in Fnatic
That
a
is
bit.
exactly what Yesterday said. Yeah, and what about your group?
In our group, so Gentlemates, BBL for my boy Profek, you know, my old teammate, so I cheer for him. And then I think Food. Food are looking good, so...
Yeah, again, very close to what Yesterday said as well. What about you, Kamek?
I think for Group Alpha, I would say same as Mini. It's like Vitality, Fnatic, Heretics. I'm not gonna say the order because it could be random. But those 3 definitely. For us, Gentlemates, I would say BBL as well. And it's between KC and Food.
Ooh. I like the KC
That's an
shout.
interesting
That is a
answer, yeah.
good shout. Neither of you said Liquid.
Yeah, of course
Now
not.
you played against them, you fully don't believe that they can make top 3?
I mean, they can make top 3, but I believe in the other teams more, and that's it.
Very, very interesting. Spicy. You agree, Billy?
I don't know. Maybe.
Ah,
I'm going to
do you
sit
know
on the
what?
fence for this
I
one.
quite like it. I quite like it. But yeah, let's take a look at the schedule as well, because next week we have some bangers coming, and my eyes go towards stage 1, week 2, day 3, match 1, Vitality versus Fnatic. Now this is a bit of a grudge match, Billy. This is I mean, Kamek knows what about grudge matches, I feel like at this point, but that is, I feel like that is the grudge match I think we're ever gonna have.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting one, to be fair. Derek up against his former team.
Yeah.
I expect the arena to be very full for that first match.
Yeah, and I expect Vitality to win that one. They look like the better team right now. But how are you two feeling about the Foot game as your next opponent? What do you think about Foot?
I mean, the first game for us, like, we won it now. We are gonna go with the flow, I feel like. And, like, we're gonna keep improving each day, every day, you know. It's like, I feel like this match showed the second map, like, after we won it, we kinda unlocked ourselves. And we finally, like, gained the complete trust in each other, which I really like. And, like, everyone is just, like, trusting each other to the point we are just, like, feeling like a family, I feel like.
Aww. Minnie?
I'm so excited for every match, you know, but I didn't play against Foot yet, so I'm excited. I didn't actually play against any Turkish team yet, so I'm excited to face the Turkish team now. I hear some stories, you know, so let's see.
Honestly, Minnie, if you put up the performance you do today against Foot, you might be my favorite player. You might. I think we just scrap the narratives out and be like,
It's so real for
Minnie's
that.
the best player in
It's
EMEA.
so real.
But thank you once again so much for joining me. Thank you, Billy. Thank you to you guys at home for watching in and tuning and staying with us this week. We'll be back with more Valorant action starting on Wednesday next week. Have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you then. This is the 12th time that Boaster and Angel have faced each other in their VCT career.
TP though, to that class, for Chronicle. This could be disastrous.
Boaster has a look, but even he's a bit surprised. Chronicle, oh, Roosing! That's stunning! But hold on, we called out Crashies and he's on a heater now. Fnatic with a absolutely brilliant first map here. You can see it. Oh! Crashes with the little 1-2 step, making it look so smooth here.
One enemy remaining.
I'm shitting on these guys, bro. I'm gonna 31 this game easy.
Bro, I killed 3. Why are you saying that?
Face the man who came alive in the end for Fnatic.
What a turnaround from Kayak, honestly.
As well, we have to consider the amount of time that both of these teams have had to prepare, right? Mates got knocked out of kickoff fairly early, and Team Liquid just getting back from Masters Bangkok.
Enemy remaining.
I'm so good!
One enemy remaining.
No one said
Team Liquid with a masterclass on split. They've dominated from the get-go.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
The good spot, but Kiko pulls it right back.
no one said blazing.
Gentlemates fighting tooth and nail for this map, and they've got it. Many thanks to Mini.
One enemy remaining.
Mini's hit another level in this series. I don't know what happened to this guy.
Pull up at the spot, no one said blazing.
Mates, they've been looking clean. Mini's popping off.